If you want to know what AI agents actually are and how AI agents can actually impact your life, then this video is completely for you. So in this video, we are going to follow 3 simple paths built on the concepts you already understand. And by the end of this video, I promise you will clearly understand what an AI agent actually is, how it's different from the AI you use every day, and how you can build your own AI agent without writing a single line of code. So one of the easiest example that came into my mind is you have to imagine there is 2 security guards. Both of them are a different person. They are not same. So the guard number 1, he just sit at the gate. If someone comes, he opens the gate. If a delivery person comes, he writes the names and moves on. He does only what you tell him, nothing more. But whereas a guard number 2, he's different. So what he does is, he doesn't just open the gate, he recognizes every person. He knows which family usually gets a delivery at what time. If a new person comes, he checks properly. He warns you if something feels suspicious. He remembers who visited last time. He even updates the residents automatically with small things like your package has been arrived or your guest is waiting at the entrance. So when you look more closely between these 2 people, you can see the difference and you can definitely understand both of them are not same. So one of the guard, which is the guard number 1, he just follows the instructions. The other guard, which is the guard number 2, he thinks, he decides, he remembers and take the right action even when you're not here. So definitely that second guard is the AI agent, which means it's not just something that follows the instruction and the rules. It can also think, decide and take an action all by its own. So it's not just a chatbot, it's not just a tool, but something that can observe, understand and decide, remember and actually do the real work for you. I mean 24/7. So in a little more simple words, AI agent is a smart worker that can think, decide and do tasks for you without you telling it what to do every single time. Or maybe you can call it as an assistant that can understand what you want and get things done automatically. So just like I said in the early days, one of the doubt that I had in my mind which kept running was, yeah, I heard about AI agents, but how do they actually work? How do AI agents actually work? And the most of the people who are watching this video would really like to know how actually AI agents work and what's the back-end process and what's the main process behind all of these things. So now let's get into how AI agents actually work. So like I said, I'm not completely into the parts where you need a huge knowledge with coding and technology and everything. Like I said, I came from digital marketing, which does not really require that much kind of technical knowledge and all. But also at the same time, just like everyone, I use simple AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud. So when we use these tools, we basically do one thing. We give an input and the model gives us output. For example, if I ask ChatGPT, write a message to remind my friend about our meeting tomorrow. That's the input. And the reply it gives me, that's the output. For example, like if you ask something to someone, that is an input. And the reply they gives back, that is an output. Very simple. It's not that much complicated. So one of the thing which is entirely going to change the scenario of this video is, imagine if I ask ChatGPT, when is my next meeting? What is it gonna reply? Maybe like, I don't know, I don't have access to your calendar, which proves what? And this tells us 2 important things about the LLMs. LLMs means large language model, just like ChatGPT, Gemini, kind of normal simple tools that you use every day. So even though they are trained on a huge amount of data, they still don't know anything about your personal or private information, which means they can access your files, your emails, calendars, or order nothing. And the second thing is, LLMs are passive. They sit quietly and wait for you to type a prompt. They don't take action on their own. So try to keep that in your mind. So now let's move to one step above the LLMs and talk about AI automations or AI workflow. So think of it like this. Imagine AI is a smart kid and very smart, but still needs a clear instructions. So now imagine you write a small note for that kid. The rule note simply says what to do in certain situations, like nothing technical, just simple instructions. So I connect my AI to a small set of instructions and tell it, whenever I ask something about my schedule, first go and check my Google Calendar and only then reply to me. So that's it. Like you're basically saying, before you answer, look here first. That's the main point. Now, because of this rule, if I ask, when is my meeting with John? The AI won't guess. It won't say, I don't know. And instead, it will go to my calendar, find the real meeting, then give me the correct answer because I already told it where to look and what to do. Now, imagine I ask something which is totally different from it. Something like, do I have 100 emails today? And the AI won't be able to answer that. Why? Because we only connected that to our Google Calendar, not to our Gmail inbox, which means it has no access to your email data. So it cannot give you the real answer. This shows the real nature of AI workflows. They are limited by the exact steps we humans define. They follow our rules, our logic, our structure, and nothing more. Even if you add 20 steps or 50 steps, it's still a workflow, which means the human is the decision maker. The AI is just following the instruction. There is no real agent behavior that is happening. So it's like giving someone a checklist and saying, do these steps in this exact order. They will complete the task, but they won't make decisions on their own. And that's what AI automation really is. Helpful, but not an AI agent. Now let's talk about the real game changer, which is AI agents. This is where everything becomes different. So with normal workflows, the human decides the path. With AI agents, the AI decides the path. And let me explain that in a very simple way. So imagine my goal. My personal goal is create a full social media post based on whatever is happening today. So in a workflow, I would manually set up things like fetch something from this link, summarize this, rewrite that, add this, post it. It only works because I'm telling the system what to do step by step. But an AI agent works in a different way. Let's say I tell the AI agent, find today's trending story and turn it into a social post for me. I don't tell it where to search. I don't tell it where to summarize. I don't tell it which tool to use. It decides all that by itself. It might search multiple websites, pick a relevant article and check the accuracy, summarize it, rewrite it my tone, create a caption, and even schedule the post automatically, all without waiting for me to choose every step. This is a big shift we are talking about. This is the main advantage of AI agents. So in workflow, a human is a decision maker. In AI agents, the LLMs becomes the decision maker. So one of the examples that is actually coming to my mind is, there are only few people in the world who haven't watched the Marvel movies, right? So in the Marvel movie, Tony Stark has a personal assistant. In the first, you can see he's Jarvis. There are many times that I thought in my life, what if, I was able to build a Jarvis who gets a lot of my daily things, who help me to build so much legendary kind of things. But only Tony Stark can do that. And you can see a lot of videos in YouTube's like building Jarvis with making Jarvis as your personal assistant and everything. But I don't know, the technology has reached up to where you are seeing in the movie. I mean, we are closer to that, I think, but I don't know whether the things that Jarvis used to do at that time is possible right now. One of the things I'm sure is we are actually reaching to that peak. So like I said, some kind of version like Jarvis, someone who organizes your day, manages your emails, reminds you of important things, books your appointments, handle the task, does the boring work, and even take care of the things before you ask. So to have someone like that, to build something like that, it's completely different. You can build and you can do a lot of things so fast as possible. So with the technology we have right now, AI agents are already working in real business and real industries every single day. So let me break down this completely. AI agents and business, which is the most common use of today. This is where AI agents are being used the most right now. For example, WhatsApp 24/7 customer support. AI agents reply like a real human instantly. They answer product question, handle returns and complaints, check availability and order status, work 24/7 without delay, no waiting, no missed messages. And also at the same time, it is used for lead generation and qualification. It is used as email AI assistant. And for a business, leads are very important. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of manual work to get a good leads. But what if it's done completely by AI agents? That's one of the greatest advantage that we have in this century. So just like what we used to do, it collects the email, budget, interest. It filters serious buyers from time wasters, send qualified leads to the business owner. It's absolutely saving a lot of manual work. And the third one is it works as email AI assistant. And the fourth, the content and the ad support. Fifth, voice called AI assistant. One of the things which most of the people in the business struggle is, when an angry customer calls, or sometimes some people call for unnecessary reasons. To pick call for everything, it's a lot of manual work. And not everyone is calling to buy something, right? So when in this case, if an AI takes a phone, you can save that time and you can use that time for something else. And also at the same time, and if an angry customer is calling, you don't have to worry about that. It's AI dealing with it. And the AI is not going to get angry. So it knows how to deal with the customers very calm and relaxed. So that's a very great advantage. And the place where I have seen where these voice AI agents are very much amazing. One is for the e-commerce business and the second one is for the restaurants, where the customers call the restaurants to book a room, to know the availability of the room. And in that case, the AI agent books appointments or call back. And the best part, like I said, they stay calm. They stay very calm even at the angry customers. And it does not end here. AI agents are actually even used in healthcare industries too. And also at the same time, AI agents are expanding everywhere else. Like one of the perfect examples was healthcare. And now it's also used in finance, retail and e-commerce, human resources, manufacturing, supply chain and logistics, customer support, education, life science and drug discovery. Almost every industry that has repetitive work, data overload, customer communication and decision-making pressure, where you can use AI agents for that. So no matter what industry is, AI agents are actually used for the main core reasons, mostly like to save time, reduce manual work, support decisions and let humans focus on what actually matters. And the crazy part is they don't need a break. They don't get tired and they never forget. So let's get to the final part, which is if you ever want to build an AI agent, you have two options. The one is a coded way. So here you need to learn things like LangChain, API integrations, tool calling, vector databases, function calling, agent orchestration. So these things are actually powerful but technical. And there comes a second option, which is no coding. That's the easiest part. That's the main part for people like us. Okay, so which literally anyone can learn, and you can use tools like N8N, Zapier, Mate.com, and I would highly recommend you to go for N8N because it's a hybrid. It's mostly like a hybrid. So one of the perfect examples that I can use right now is if you want to build something so easily without just like drag and drop. You don't have to keep upgrading. You just have to build very simple things. If that's your case, you can go for Zapier or Make.com. Also keep in mind that these platforms that I'm talking about, they are not free, they are paid. So these platforms are like CapCut. It's easy, but they have their own limits. But the N8N, it's mostly like the Premiere Pro or the DaVinci. You can build almost everything. And also at the same time, the people who have the coding knowledge, they can build amazing workflows, amazing AI agents with the coding knowledge they have. I think N8N gives 2-week trial, 14 days trial if you want to begin. But if your main purpose is to learn it, you have another option, like you can install N8N in your own PC, which is best, I would say. But if your main intention is to learn N8N, I would say just you should better install N8N in your own PC. And in that case, you don't have to pay any money. It's completely free. So it's something like if you install N8N in your own PC, your PC act as a server. So you don't have to pay any money. It is actually done inside Docker. You have to install Docker and you have to install N8N inside the Docker. So the people who does not have that kind of, just like I said, technical or any kind of background like this, it's not a huge process because I did it. I did it just by watching another YouTube video, like step by step. I mean, sometimes in several parts, it took me a lot of time to figure things out, but you can do that too. If you want to build that, I will give a link in the description so you can watch that tutorial video and you can install N8 in your own PC today. And also at the same time, it has its own limitation. One of the things which I really love about N8, not if you install in your PC, when you use it in the original N8 site is, sometimes if you make some kind of technical errors or something, there is an AI inside the N8 and it suggests what problem or where did you went wrong. For people like me who does not have any kind of technical knowledge, actually at that time it took me a lot of time to figure things out when any kind of problems or anything happened. But with the help of the AI inside the N8, it's a bit more easier. So like I said, I use N8 for my client work and my personal AI agents. It's simple, it's visual, and also at the same time it's powerful. And when you need to go deeper, you can just add a few lines of code and level up working instantly. So, and if you're curious about building AI agents and you want to build AI agents, I had made a very simple tutorial video which anyone with no technical background or anyone with no coding background can definitely watch, understand it, and can build your first AI agent now, today itself, if you watch that video. And also at the same time, in that video I explain most of the things and the most of the common doubts you can possibly have if you don't have a kind of coding background. So I will give that video in the description so you can actually go and watch it.